Hello and welcome to the Scotland Outdoors podcast. I'm Christopher Sleight. For many of us, life is ruled by the 9 to 5, but that still leaves the 16 odd hours in between. Now most nights it's simply a time to recharge, eating, sleeping, watching television. But one man is making it his mission to encourage us all to head off into the country and spend the night out under the stars, something that Alastair Humphreys has dubbed the Microadventure. The principles are simple. Keep it local, no tents, no cooking. Oh, and there might be a visit to the pub in there somewhere. I met Alastair at Glasgow Central, packed for the night. You must be Alastair Humphreys.
I am. Hello.
Good to meet you.
How are you?
How are you doing?
I'm
All
good,
right.
thank you. This is Marie-Claire.
Nice to meet you.
Hi Marie-Claire, how are you?
Met now, outside. My name's Alastair Humphreys and I call myself an adventurer, although that always sounds like a slightly silly job description, but it's the best I've come up with. I think tonight's plan's a good summary of a microadventure in that it involves leaving work at normal time, normal people, normal jobs, normal lives, and then instead of just going to the pub or going home to stroke your cat for the night, you head out of town, go sleep on a hill and have a tiny little adventure, have a micro-adventure, and then dash back in time for work the next morning.
This is the 5 to 9.
This is exactly the 5 to 9. So the 9 to 5 is what everyone has, their busy normal lives, but this is about the 16 hours of freedom, so the 5 to 9 micro-adventure.
You managed to recruit a couple of people to come along, and we got Marie-Claire here.
Yeah.
Have you ever done anything like this before?
I've done a bit of family camping, but my mum and dad and my friends think I'm mad to want to camp on top of a hill.
And tonight we're bivvying. We haven't even got a tent.
Yeah, that's exciting though. You wake up to a good view instead of being in a home.
I'm Orla O'Murray, I'm from Ireland. I want to get into adventure journalism, but I haven't actually done any wild camping myself, so...
Okay, so it's the first time out on the fells tonight.
Yeah.
How are you? You feeling a bit nervous about that? Or
Yeah, a little bit, just cold-wise, because I don't have proper gear. I have Alastair bringing a bivvy bag, so...
I'm sure we'll be fine. So we've gone from an incredibly busy Glasgow Central out to Birdsong in Blainfield. I guess this is the whole idea behind the micro-adventure. It's got to be pretty accessible.
Yeah, definitely, and I think it's great to be able to do it out of one of the biggest cities in Britain and within half an hour be out somewhere beautiful like this.
And we've picked up another Alastair along the way in Mulgai, and you're planning on being back in work tomorrow?
Yep, 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Great. And you mentioned on the train as well, Alastair, that a visit to the pub for an evening is an essential part of a micro-adventure.
I think so. You can get all major food groups and it stops you having to take all the extra clutter of more kit, and I think the less kit that is necessary, the more accessible it comes to more people.
So it's all about having less kit, nothing about spending the evening in a pub eating and drinking at all.
Well, if it's part of the job, I'll do it, but... He looked like he was a call centre person.
Can I get anyone any sauces in here?
Thank you.
No!
A really complicated gate here.
Don't be beaten.
What I find interesting is that although by any decent measurement I have a very unstressful life, I just feel it's almost a physical feeling when I leave the cities to do this, just this seeping away of stress and frustration, and so a real tangible feeling inside me, which I really love. It's great. And the light now, that light's just extraordinary, setting over in the west. Oh, it's a beautiful evening, absolutely beautiful. Cameras out,
Everybody's snapping away.
Yeah.
Well, we got to one of those complicated gates again. Better concentrate.
We figured it out this time. Obviously, if you're going to go climb a serious mountain, then things are quite different. But if you're just climbing a gentle little hill, the worst thing that's going to happen is you'll get a little bit damp. So you can really just do it with more or less any old sleeping bag and a couple of woolly jumpers and a bottle of water and your toothbrush, and off you go.
Ah, toothbrush. And you have forgotten something.
You didn't bring your toothbrush
No, I'm
with
travelling.
toothpaste already applied, wrapped in cling film.
I'm travelling light. So I promise that is the last gate, okay? The complicated bit is done. We're just going to head uphill now. So we're going for this spot here, Alastair.
Yeah, I think so. It's we've just dropped a few yards down off the top, so it's a bit sheltered from the wind, but we've still got a fantastic view over the city, which, to my surprise, as we were just walking down, I was finding the view over the city more appealing than the view over the loch in the mountains. I think it's just the unusualness of having this view in a wilderness area that's brilliant. What do you think, Orla?
Can I not be on the outside of the sleeping because I'll be freezing?
Fantastic, it's awesome.
This is heaven.
What was that? This is heaven. Yeah?
Yeah.
You're sold on the concept.
I'd rather sleep here every night than sleep in a house.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think you'll still be saying that at 3 a.m. this morning?
Yep. I hope so.
God, it's cold. Well, I'm snuggling down for the night. Night, everyone.
Night.
That's literally the first sound I heard this morning. Skylark. Good morning, Alastair.
Good morning.
Did you sleep all right?
Yeah, I slept pretty well. I definitely could have brought one more jumper.
Yeah. I thought I was quite cold at the start of the night, but I warmed up. I don't know if it did get warmer if I just warmed up in the bag.
Did it rain?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it did.
It rained? Oh, yeah. Wet boots. So it's 6:30 now. How long have you two been up?
Since 4:30.
4:30.
Bright and early.
What woke you up at 4:30?
Once it got bright, I think I started moving and then you woke up and...
Yeah, I had a little hole in my sleeping bag and I looked out and it was like luminous, bright
It was
light.
pink, yeah.
Yeah.
So we were like, sun! Go!
Yeah.
So we went for a walk.
So we chased the sunrise.
You've been for a walk, so you went to see the sunrise.
And we went to the edge of the cliff, the cliff as well.
Do you feel rested?
Yeah, I feel really energised, like full of energy.
So you do it again?
Definitely.
Orla?
Yeah, but I'm buying a better sleeping bag.
And more layers, yeah.
It was quite chilly, that's for sure. And the other Alastair. How was your night?
It was all right.
It was all right. Cold or warmer?
Well, it was weird. Sometimes my feet were warm and the rest of me was cold, and sometimes my feet got cold and the rest of me was all right. So.
It's definitely a different experience sleeping straight outside rather than in a tent, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. It's amazing. And then when you wake up and you can just kind of find the little hole in your bivvy bag and look out and you see the stars and stuff, it's pretty amazing.
That's the loose one, is it? Whoa.
Controlled demolition.
We're just taking a steeper, more direct route off the top of the Campsie Fells. Is it not better to traverse right all the way along that little shelf there? We made our way down the steep bit now. We're about 10 minutes off the road. It's all quite nice and simple in the morning, is it? No tent to faff around with.
Yeah, it's really nice. Just shove the bivvy bag and sleeping bag in and off you go, and all that's left is a little depression in the grass. And then on a boring practical note, it's quite nice when you get home and all you need to do is hang up a sleeping bag and bivvy bag to dry down, and tent and mucky cooking pans and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, it's really simple.
As with anything involved in the outdoors, though, there sometimes can be a bit of discomfort. What is it that drives you on? Why do you keep doing this sort of thing?
I agree that when you wake up at some time in the middle of the night and you're a little bit on the chilly side and perhaps a wee bit damp, that is definitely less pleasant than being in a big bed. But it makes tomorrow night, when you get to a nice warm bed, more rewarding, more comfortable, and then I think the slight discomfort is worth it just for this experience now of walking down really early in the morning out in the hills. I think it's quite likely that if I was at home I'd still be asleep at this time, whereas now we're out in the fields and the blue sky, and it's a lovely start to the day.
Alastair, you're in the office later on today. Has it changed your outlook on the rest of the day?
Absolutely, yeah. I feel like this has been the best commute I've ever had. Walking down the side of the Campsies, it's definitely the best way to start your day, and I'll get in, probably have a shower in the office, and then I'll be ready to go.
Is this something you do in your normal week? Head off into the hills for a night?
Not in my normal week, no. I tend to try and do kind of adventures, but I'll be a lot more sporadic about it. Now that my daughter has come along, it's much harder to spend like 3 or 4 nights away, much harder to get the planning or buy the kit for that kind of thing. So this kind of idea that Alistair's got, just a night out on the hills, is perfect for me.
Single to Glasgow, please. Thank you.
How does it feel like when you get back into a city after a night out like that for you?
I quite like it. It feels. I feel almost like I've done something mildly rebellious, very mildly rebellious. But especially when you get on the commuter trains and it gradually piles up with people in their suits and you're looking a bit bedraggled with a backpack on.
Feeling refreshed.
Feeling refreshed, yes. Maybe not smelling refreshed, but feeling refreshed.
You better get on.
Right, Scott. All the best.
Brilliant.
Cheers,
Good luck in Noida. Good night. Writer Alastair Humphreys, along with Orla, Mary Claire and the other Alastair, with me on the Campsie Fells. And that's it for this edition of the Scotland Outdoors podcast. Please stay in touch. You can email us at outofdoors@bbc.co.uk or tweet at BBC Out of Doors. I'm Christopher Sleight. Thanks for listening.